Have you ever wondered about the financial aspects of war? How much does it truly cost to wage a war? Welcome to the intricate world of war financing, a world where the cost of conflict is not just measured in human lives, but also in cold, hard currency. Firstly, let's consider manpower. The soldiers, officers and support staff who risk their lives for their nations are not volunteers. They are professionals who receive salaries, benefits and pensions. This is a significant financial commitment for any country, especially when we consider the sheer numbers involved. Then there's the weaponry. Tanks, aircraft, warships, firearms and ammunition are all necessary tools of warfare. Each bullet fired, every bomb dropped comes with a price tag. And that's not even taking into account the vast investments made in research and development of new and advanced military technology. Logistics is another hefty cost. Moving troops and equipment around the world, ensuring supplies of food, water and medical aid, maintaining communication networks, all of these require substantial resources and funds. And once the dust settles, there's the cost of reconstruction, rebuilding infrastructure, providing for displaced people, healing the wounds of war. All these are burdens that fall on the shoulders of the victors and the vanquished alike. But the economic consequences of war don't end there. Wars often lead to inflation, as governments print money to fund their war machines. This devalues currency, leading to increased prices and reduced purchasing power for ordinary citizens. In addition, wars frequently result in debt. Nations borrow heavily to finance their wars, often leading to long-term economic problems. The burden of war debt can linger for generations, affecting the financial health of a nation long after the guns have fallen silent. As we delve into the annals of history, we find that the financial aspects of war are as complex and varied as the wars themselves. Join us as we journey through this fascinating and often overlooked aspect of warfare. World War I and World War II, two monumental events known for their profound economic impacts, witnessed enormous financial expenditures and substantial shifts in the world's economic dominion. Let's delve into these economic consequences supported by solid statistics. World War I, often referred to as the Great War, triggered massive economic disruption. The hefty toll of warfare led nations like Britain and France to incur enormous costs, causing their national debt to surge by 208% and 408% respectively. Meanwhile, the United States capitalized on its geographical location and industrial strength, becoming a creditor country by lending over $10 billion to its war-stricken allies, thus stimulating a shift in economic power across the Atlantic. Post-World War I, Germany was burdened with severe reparations, a staggering 132 billion gold marks. Alongside the economic depression of the 1930s, this gave rise to the conditions that paved the way for fascism and the onset of World War II. World War II surpassed all prior conflicts in its economic ramifications. As Europe's economies buckled under the weight of war, the US economy underwent an unmatched boom, with its GDP almost tripling from $91 billion in 1939 to $258 billion in 1945, providing vast quantities of arms and aid to its allies. This economic rise pushed the United States to superpower status, positioning the dollar as the preeminent global currency. The aftermath of war left Europe in shambles, necessitating tremendous reconstruction efforts primarily financed by the United States through the Marshall Plan. This $13 billion aid program helped revive European economies, but simultaneously increased their dependence on American aid. In the East, Japan's war-ravaged economy, left with a mere 30% of its pre-war industrial production, underwent a meticulous revival under American governance. Japan's economic resurgence transformed it into the world's third-largest economy, with a GDP of $5 trillion by the 1990s, demonstrating the transformative power of war. World War I and II were not merely about the battles fought, but also involved financial survival, power shifts, and a redefinition of the world order. The financial aftermath of these world wars, reinforced jaw-dropping figures, was experienced for decades and significantly restructured the global economic landscape. The Middle East, steeped in intricate history and endowed with natural wealth, has long been a stage for political power struggles, territorial feuds, and warfare. These conflicts, however, have had broad economic implications that extend far beyond the region, particularly regarding US involvement. In nations like Iraq, Syria, and Libya, the United States has invested significant military capital, an expenditure that has reshaped the global oil market and created opportunities for substantial financial returns. The oil industry, which plays a pivotal role within the global economy, is highly concentrated within this region. The black gold, as it is often referred to, has served both as a catalyst and a trophy in numerous conflicts. The ever-fluctuating global oil prices are frequently influenced by the stability or lack thereof in these Middle Eastern nations, often leading to significant economic reverberations worldwide. Yet, while rising oil prices cripple economies, they can also line the pockets of those involved in the oil trade. The US military interventions in the Middle East have not only significantly shaped the global oil market, but have also created various avenues for immense monetary gain. Military contractors have seen a remarkable surge in their revenues due to the constant need for maintaining, replacing, and upgrading warfare machinery. Furthermore, the aftermath of war presents lucrative opportunities for reconstruction efforts. The rebuilding of demolished roads, bridges, and structures generates profitable contracts for construction and infrastructure companies willing to operate under such conditions. However, war also has a more sinister side. Amid the chaos and instability, illicit activities such as smuggling, unlawful arms trading, and black market oil dealings have found a breeding ground. Despite the financial gains made by some, the human cost is undeniable. The widespread poverty, displacement, and suffering endured by many in these war-ravaged regions present a stark contrast to the profits made by a select few. Therefore, US involvement in the Middle East, and particularly in Iraq, Syria, and Libya, provides a complex picture of both financial ruin and gain. It serves as a stark reminder that within the ruins of conflict there are always those who find a way to turn a profit. Examining the economic ramifications of the Russia-Ukraine conflict reveals a landscape fraught with financial complications. This territorial dispute, which has escalated to the point of full-scale conflict, has had far-reaching economic consequences. Let's turn our attention to Russia. Formerly a titan of economic stability, the conflict with Ukraine has significantly undermined Russia's financial footing. The necessity for increased military spending driven by the war has diverted a large portion of the nation's budget from other developmental sectors. Moreover, international economic sanctions intended to curb Russia's aggressive behavior have dealt a severe blow to its economy. The ruble's value has sharply declined, foreign investments have dwindled, and inflation rates have skyrocketed. But Russia is not alone in experiencing the economic sting of the conflict. Ukraine's financial landscape has also been severely impacted. The war has interfered with their economic activities, especially in the eastern territories where the majority of the conflicts have occurred. This interference has resulted in a reduced industrial output, thereby negatively influencing the country's overall economic performance. On top of the direct war costs, Ukraine has found itself facing hefty expenses for reconstruction efforts following the conflict, with infrastructure, housing, and public services all necessitating significant investment for restoration. Expanding our perspective beyond two nations, it becomes evident that the regional implications of this conflict are substantial. Interruptions to trade routes and an influx of refugees have put additional pressure on the economies of neighboring countries. In essence, the Russia-Ukraine conflict, though primarily a territorial dispute, has created a ripple effect of financial implications. The economic fallout has not only been experienced by Russia and Ukraine, but has also affected the wider region. Thus, this war has evolved into a costly impasse, with both nations and their neighbors shouldering the economic repercussions. Despite the immense financial strain, the Russia-Ukraine conflict persists, continuing to be a burden for both nations and the region. The intricate web of conflict involving Israel, Hamas, and Iran has garnered significant attention. It's not just a power and political struggle, but one with complex financial and economic ramifications for the parties involved and the global economy. Let's begin by considering Israel. A significant chunk of its national spending is allocated to the defense sector, fueling military infrastructure and technology. This heavy spending on defense, while a burden, has a silver lining. It has fostered a booming defense industry that exports high-tech military equipment around the globe. Then we consider Hamas. Despite their status as a labeled terrorist organization by some, Hamas operates within an intricate financial framework. It depends heavily on foreign funding, often provided by nations and non-state entities that sympathize with its cause. However, these funds usually come with conditions that directly shape Hamas's actions and strategies. Then we have Iran. Iran's support for Hamas has attracted international sanctions that have taken a toll on its economy. Yet, Iran sees this participation as a necessary sacrifice to uphold its regional influence and challenge Israel's dominance. But the economic implications of this conflict aren't limited to these three parties. Global players, including the United States and the European Union, are heavily involved through their financial aid or sanctions. These interventions not only chart the path of the conflict, but also have domino effects on the worldwide economy. For example, sanctions against Iran have the potential to induce volatility in global oil prices, affecting international economies. Additionally, persistent conflict can shift global investment trends. Regions marked by instability are often deemed high risk, deterring foreign investment and potentially obstructing economic growth and advancement. Therefore, the economic dimensions of these conflicts are intricate and far-reaching, affecting not only the parties directly involved, but also the global economic landscape. In essence, war isn't just about power and politics, also a chess game of economics with sky-high stakes. In this journey through history, we've seen how the financial aspects of war are as multifaceted as the conflicts themselves. From the immense costs incurred to the economic repercussions rippling through societies, war has a profound financial impact. Yet paradoxically, it also presents opportunities for profit, a grim reality that underpins many conflicts. As we continue to grapple with conflicts around the world, understanding the financial aspects of war is crucial in analyzing their impacts and potential resolutions.